What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with a mofodo. This castle level's a 25. I'll be jumping into it on my archer. Alright, so what I can do with this level 22 Mega Mutton, and it's only because of my DPS, is I can pretty much kill it before it really gets any sort of healing off, because it's leading so far out. Many people won't be able to do exactly that, but because your puppeteer and everything were so much farther back, like I almost feel like it would be pretty easy for you to here, let me kill this off and I'll explain. Let's say you had your Mega Mutton farther back. Let's say you had your Defendatron like here, your puppeteer in front with it being shielded, so it's kind of like right here in the way, and you can't really get an angle on the Defendatron behind it. There's no way to aggro this while you're actually dealing damage to anything useful. And then you have the Mega Mutton slightly farther back, but because it's a faster unit, it'll run past them pretty quickly after you aggro the group. I think that could be better. Alright, so that's neat. That's pretty unique. I didn't know where anything was coming from. I haven't really seen anything like that. That's somewhat new. Like, I came into this room and there's no reason why I would rotate down towards this way. So he kind of had it so that everything was kind of blocked off, so I had to aggro this group. And then I was like, well, is it a fake? What is it? And then I saw the archer arrow come up through, and that allowed me to buy some time to like react to the hook that would have came through. But it's a unique idea, for sure. I'm sure other people are using it, but I haven't seen it quite yet. Alright, so he's got one of these Defendatrons that's going to link up with a group that's coming, so I'm going to kind of pull back here. Alright, Scorpio's a lot weaker now. You noticed I pretty much one-shot headshotted it. I'm still going to have to take some time to get used to that. This is the main problem with having that Defendatron outside. You noticed it linked up to the skeleton instead of the puppeteer, which is a little unfortunate. Alright, this group's kind of weird. It's just like a Defendatron and a puppeteer. That's odd. I don't know where you're getting the points for that group. I suppose you're just like having a couple snotters that are like not needed. You have a couple 19-point groups, so you threw that in there. I had one of those in my castle as well. Alright, so I have to imagine that there's going to be a Scorpio that comes down this way and tries to pull you into this. Yeah. I mean, I guess the springboard trap is okay, but I don't know if, like, the purpose. I don't know the purpose, really. I mean, you want to throw people down the hallway more, I'm guessing, but I'm just wondering if other traps would be better. Like, how far would this actually throw me? Yeah, it's only going to throw me into one other group, and I aggroed that one anyway. Alright, so you had a Snotter hiding in the wall there. I expected to just kind of come up and headshot that Zeke, but he aggroed on me. The only problem is your Cyclops, it felt like maybe he was a little bit too delayed. Like, I got to this point and I did run backwards, but he got his charge off and I was like already to this point here. So I don't know if you can maybe make him a little less delayed coming around this corner. Alright. So I like that. You had this kind of like visual thing here going on with the Snotter, and then if I just run up past that, there's a good chance that I aggro this group. Even if I don't, the Scorpio kind of comes right through this group and has a good chance of pulling me into it. Alright. I have an IMAX. I feel pretty confident in pulling both of these. The Jimbos aren't really level 26 either. I think that's one of the creatures that you would normally want to be level 26. I mean, maybe your castle... I'm not sure if your castle was level 24 when you sent the challenge, or if it's just level 25. I haven't seen any level 26 units in here yet. Your Defendatrons could be leveled, your Jimbos could be leveled, but definitely Jimbo is one of your big factors at level 26 because he one-shots people, or at least archers. You know, he'll deal pretty good damage to knights, about 1,300, but for archers he can go up to around 3,000 on a crit. Alright, and then we're going to have the boss room after this group here. So pretty much I wouldn't have made it through in time, I'm pretty sure. I think if I wasn't talking and I was concentrating, I probably could have. Most of your damage comes in the way of like level 22 MegaMarclays, and currently I'm able to pretty much DPS them down without taking any damage from them, because I just have high DPS in general. Oh, and then you have a Snottingham, that's interesting. Snottingham is probably pretty good. Like, if I had no potions right here, like, I'm sure Snottingham could be an issue for me. But as it stands now, he's not that bad. So yeah, I don't think people are going to really have too easy of a time getting through your castle. I think probably, you know, 2 levels over or so will probably be able to make it through, just like they're kind of able to make it through mine. For the most part, I just had a level 27 go through today. You know, that's only 1 level over my castle, so not ideal. He died maybe 5 or 6, 7 times before he got through. But, I mean, either way, I haven't really completely rebuilt my castle, because I just don't really like where the defending portion of the game is right now. So, yeah, pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, for number 2 we have MegaMarclay, castle level 22. I kind of purposely pulled 2 groups at once just to see how it would work together. So it's a MegaMarclay plus a Scorpio combo. That's pretty good. You know, your Scorpios I think are probably 1 tier below where I am, because you only have a level 22 castle. So that's why it was so easy for me to take care of. Now this group seems odd. There are points missing, so I'm kind of okay. So he's there. Okay, it's a fine group. Never mind. I guess the only problem that I have with it is that your Defendatron is pretty easy to be aggroed on. Like, at first I thought I might be able to just walk around it and, like, you had it tied in through here or something, but then you had the Puppeteer right here. The only problem is you have, like, a Zeke right here, and your Defendatron's right next to it. If your Zeke was, like, in front, trying to block off shots or something, I would like it a little bit better. Just because for me, when I'm going through a castle and I see this setup, what I would want to do ideally is get a headshot off on the Defendatron to, you know, chunk down its health before the battle even starts. So if you can try to deny that a little bit, it would be good. Other than that, I mean, it's a pretty standard group. Alright, so you have, this is more of like the time-wasting Scorpio, I would say, or utility. Not really great at dealing damage, but it does take a lot longer to kill it, because it's constantly bashing you back. However, I did just one-shot it, because Scorpios are a little bit weaker right now than they used to be. Although maybe not at this tier. It's just a level 20 Scorpio instead of level 24. And I've been able to kill like level 28s up to, so obviously it's a little bit weaker than what I'm used to. Alright, so I like the Scorpio and the Zeke, or not the Scorpio, but the Cyclops and the Zeke coming around the corner. You have it charge you, and then you combine that if you pull both of the groups. You have the Scorpio that's going to knock you back, and a stun from the Cyclops that kind of sets up the Zeke shot, which would force somebody to use a potion if they got hit by it. This one I feel like everything's a little bit too tight together. It makes it very easy for me to just volley the entire group down as like my initiate. The only thing that I guess you could do is to make it so that I can't really get around this corner without aggroing the group. Because as soon as I get around the corner I have line of sight and I can volley it. Alright, so this group is fine. The archer feels a little weird, but I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. You know, he can get off a shot or two, and that's pretty much all he's going to do for the group, but it's not bad. You still have a little bit of support, so I think it's okay. Alright, and then the boss room. 1 Scorpio, 2 Scorpio, and a Zeke. The thing is, because of the cam rotation, I can see the Zeke up here, and I can just headshot it. And then your damage is kind of gone. There's nothing that you can really do about that except for maybe change up the positions a little bit and hope that, you know, you can deny either the vision of it or you can deny the angle that I need to actually hit it. Like, I have to come from the corner here probably. Unless I want to shoot off screen, which I think you can barely shoot off screen with a headshot. If I look like up at this top corner of the screen, yeah, it goes through this top corner. So headshot pretty much has an unlimited range. So there's probably no way to actually get rid of that angle. Just make sure it's as far back as possible. Maybe you could put a mine. Well, I wouldn't even put a mine in front of it. Just, I don't know. There's not much you can do about it. It's just the way the camera rotation works these days, so it's not a bad boss room. I was just able to initiate really good on it because I saw what was coming. Yeah, not too bad of a cast. We'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Bron, cast level 16. Let's see what he's got. I mean, this mouse wheel trap, just to say, it's probably not going to do anything for you. If you have no creatures in a room, almost always the best situation is to have slowing traps in it. Alright, well, that guy will have at least a little bit more sustain against someone more your level, and your puppeteer will get a couple heals off. Make sure that these mines don't block the line of sight for the puppeteer. I've kind of talked about the reasons why I don't really like Pete Poundmore on charge. Generally, you always, if you're going to use a charge, you want to use a Cyclops, because the real benefit from a Pete Poundmore is his damage, not his utility. If you line up like together a Cyclops and a Pete Poundmore, and they're both on charge, like they both do generally the same thing. It's the displacement and the stun at the end of it. That's really the only thing you're looking at when you are going charge for a specialization. So for Pete Poundmore, who gets really good damage scaling, you want to use one of the more high damage dealing specializations. Just in my opinion, I guess. Same reason why I don't really like Cyclopses with their little 3-punch combo, but I like it on Pete Poundmore, is because their damage doesn't scale nearly as well. So for just a straight-up damage-dealing unit, I don't really like the Cyclops, but I like it more the utility or that big pound over-the-head slam, which has a stun plus pretty good damage for burst. Alright, these archers could hit me. Eventually you'll get double shot on those archers at rank 4. That'll be your next rank up. They didn't end up hitting me as I was going through this, so that's pretty good for you. I could have waited around the corner though. Yeah, I mean it's not a bad group, it's just with cam rotation the way it is, I can see them lining up their shot. So the only people who are going to fall for this is people who don't really understand how archers work, and understand how the game works in general. Yeah, I mean, dodging stuff isn't normally the way that, like, RPGs work, right? A lot of the time, you just kind of run through it as quickly as possible when you're playing an RPG, but in this game you kind of have to aggro things, pull back around corners until they finish their animation, and then you can go in. Yeah, so I mean, you can see that, like, with this guy charging, I realize you're trying to set up one archer, but if you had one Cyclops that was doing it instead, you know, you'd be able to have 3 archers instead, right? So that's triple the amount of damage. The Cyclops isn't really going to be the thing, or the Pete Poundmore isn't going to be the thing that deals damage when they're on charge. It's going to be the archers. Alright, so this one, we have what I'm guessing is a healing puppeteer. Or not a puppeteer, but a Cyclops. I might actually run into some problems here because I don't have any potions. I didn't bring any with me, because I keep forgetting to buy potions. So I'm going to have to kind of kite a little bit and heal up in order to not die, and for some reason I keep missing my Lashing Flames, which is annoying. Like, this doesn't have an outrageous amount of damage to it, so I can heal up eventually. Alright, so I think I'm good now. Yeah, like I said, this is a very annoying room to deal with, but it's not really high damage. It's more about the time that it takes. And I think you should be having at least a good majority of people time out before they get through your castle. I mean, I was talking a little bit, I didn't bring any potions, but I'm also 3 levels over you, and I have pretty decent gear. So I think your castle should do okay with the time-wasting aspect of things. And you should force out probably about 2 potions, maybe 3, depending on the level and the gear that people have. I wouldn't expect a ton of kills, but maybe a few here and there, for people who just kind of run through things and get hit by all of your archers and stuff like that. I think changing up your specialization on Pete Poundmore will help quite a bit as well, and possibly switching Pete Poundmore out with Colossus and then adding more, Colossus, StarCraft, Cyclops, and adding more archers. Alright. That's number 3, so we'll end the video here. If you guys enjoy what I do, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of Beaver Castles, you can email me at FrenzyCastleRuns, or comment on my castle, or comment on one of the videos. Give me your in-game name, and I will get to your castle when I can. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.